What's up, bitches? Listen. Ooh, you hear that sound? Ooh, it's the wind blowing through the scary curtains, right?
I'm telling you, man, it's time to get your ass out of there.
Oh, it's the spookiest month of the year. Shocktober. Here it is. Hey, get your ass away from there. All right. I had to do it. All right. It's time, Henry. It's time for us to cover a major horror franchise. That's what we do in the month of October. This is year 3 of the podcast. Year 1, we covered Friday the 13th. It was a real Frank Miller situation, year 1. So, year 2, we took a deep dive into Haddonfield, Illinois there. Or Haddonfield, New Jersey, as Henry thought it was.
Exactly.
And so we did Halloween, All Hallows Eve, that series of films.
It's true.
Now, it only makes sense, Henry.
Yeah.
It's time to dip our toes into the world of Elm Street. We're spending some time in the boiler room this month, baby.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Would you say those now we have covered kind of the seminal big trilogy?
This is the big 3. This is the big 3.
Right. Like with HMs being like what Hellraiser, stuff like that. Not quite in the same status of popularity.
You got your Hellraiser, you got your Child's Play, you got your
Texas Chainsaws.
Sure, but come on, they are not on the same level.
Right.
This is the big 3.
Right. The big 3.
The big 3 killed my baby, all right? With a glove knife.
And at the very end of all of our coverage, we should do a 1, 2, 3. We should do a gold, silver, bronze ranking of what is the best franchise.
I would love it.
Yeah.
Now, there's so much to talk about in terms of franchise, though, because what do you do? Because the best movie is Halloween.
Right.
But the worst franchise is Halloween.
Well, I don't know that yet.
Yeah, well, we got to talk about Nightmare. Now, Henry, how many Nightmares upon Elm Street have you seen?
Well, much to my not too much astonishment, I was never really interested. I really don't know that I've ever seen any of them all the way through.
Even the first one?
If I did, I would have been very young. So my recollections were almost nil. So it's pretty fair to say that it wasn't even like Friday the 13th where I had definitely like marathoned.
You'd seen
on an AMC
night.
Yeah, and I loved watching them on AMC. Like these, I just never was really interested in seeing these, and so I really did not. When they were on, I pretty much didn't. I didn't know them.
OMG, gang, we've got a Nightmare Virgin. Let's talk about it. Listen, I love these movies. I've seen a few of them a lot. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple that I will sometimes skip in a rewatch. But we'll get there. We're not there this week.
No, and by the way, this is the franchise, episode 122.
Holy shit, we didn't even say that. I'm your host, Daniel Ehrenberg. Daniel Scarenberg!
Oh, nice.
I just came up with that.
If I could think of a pun that was scary for my last name, I would, but I don't think I can right now. Henry Papali over here in Jersey.
Henry, better not say a P. Polly.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, thank you.
Not bad off of your head. Yeah, that's not bad. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Henry.
Yeah.
We've got a guy. He's walking around in dreams. He's got a burned face. He's got a sweater. Heather Langenkamp says he's got a weird hat. Seems pretty normal to me. But that was one of my favorite lines in the first one. And
yeah, it's like an Indiana Jones hat. It's just a little weathered.
Yeah, it's just a fedora. Yeah. What are you talking about? Like, Heather Langenkamp's never seen a fucking fedora in her life.
Guess not.
She's terrified of this hat.
Yeah, bad hat.
Bad hat, Harry.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's talk about the Nightmare on Elm Street.
All right.
Let's do it. Here it is. Now, I thought there'd be like a fun story behind the making of this movie, but it's honestly just like Wes Craven had this idea for a movie. He wrote it and then they made it.
That's it.
That's basically it, man. Like, he was
Okay.
interested in dreams. He like consulted a dream therapist, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this comes in a little bit of a weird era of Wes Craven's career. He was trying to sort it out. He'd made his big horror classics, his exploitation movies in the 70s, and then he was just sort of like bombing around in the late 70s, early 80s. He'd made Swamp Thing, which was like his attempt at like a big studio movie.
Yeah.
But Swamp Thing did pretty well, so I think it got him a little clout, and he used it to make this little baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So he wrote and directed it.
Right.
Yeah, it was released November 9th, 1984. What a spooky time. I mean, they skipped October. It's not a Friday the 13th release. What, a Thanksgiving release for Nightmare on Elm Street?
Well, it's like a week removed from Halloween, so, probably not the worst timing they could have gotten. But
that's weird, man. It's like, it would be like putting Miracle on 34th Street out on like January 3rd.
Yeah. By the way, quick side note, second week in a row, we're covering a director's dreams.
That's true. Jan de Bont put his big dream of an ocean liner knocking into land in Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Low budget, Henry. $1.8 million.
Yep.
Hit.
Yep.
$25.5 million.
That's big.
All right. It came in at number 40 at the box office in 1984. But, of course, later became a phenomenon. It did slightly worse than Muppets Take Manhattan. And slightly better than a movie I've never heard of called The Woman in Red. Are you familiar with this?
Feel like I've heard of that, but
let's
I
look
don't
it up.
Know. All right.
I love doing this. We're going to find out what this movie is, gang, right now. Here it is, 1984. On his way to work, Teddy spots Charlotte, an incredibly beautiful woman in red. He really wants to meet her, but what would his wife say? All right?
Who's in it?
You got your Gene Wilder. He's the lead.
Oh. Okay.
And then the woman in red, the titular woman in red, is Kelly LeBrock, of course.
All right. I guess it rings a bell. But
Charles Grodin's in there as a character named Buddy. I'm going to guess he's Gene Wilder's friend.
I'm going to guess that's right.
Joey Bologna is in there. And Judith Ivey, I'm going to guess that's Gene Wilder's wife. And, hey, Gilda Radner has a little role. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Okay. It was directed by Gene Wilder.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Based on a French film called Un éléphant qu'a trompé énormément.
Wow.
All right.
All right.
Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll tell you what, it's on an AFI list.
Oh shit!
American Film Institute, baby.
You're always hitting me when I'm almost ready. All right, really? How many lists is it on there?
Just one. Let's hear the theme.
All right. Wrong.
That's
one.
not it. What was that one?
AFI.
Henry, as a treat to our listeners, can I hear a live version of the AFI theme?
Sure. I don't know if I can replicate that recorded glory.
Please try.
All right. AFI.
Oh, you put too much stank on it. All right, I like
too much vibrato.
Yeah. Now it was Freddy Krueger's the number 40 best villain in film history. Okay.
All
right. Now, of course, Robert Englund is our Fred Krueger in this film, and he originally cast, they even did makeup tests, David Warner, Henry.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Shakespearean actor David Warner. We came across him in franchise coverage as Neve Campbell's drama professor in Scream 2.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
But David Warner, he got shit canned. It was an Eric Stoltz situation, and Robert Englund.
Oh, like he tried
out
for it and didn't get it.
He was like cast. He was cast in the role.
That's not nice.
No, they got rid of him. Robert Englund did this movie on hiatus between V miniseries. Yeah.
Okay.
How about that?
Interesting.
He went on to have a huge career playing Freddy Krueger in any number of things.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I looked at his career.
Yeah. Hey, just this coming up in a week or two, Henry. He'll be playing Freddy Krueger on an episode of ABC's The Goldbergs.
Really?
That's right.
Okay.
Are you gonna watch it?
That show's still on?
Yeah, The Goldbergs. It's a hit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, I won't be. Will you?
Nope.
Okay.
I watched probably the first 7 or 8 episodes of that though.
Oh, all right.
It's pretty bad.
Hey, man, you give everything a chance. I give you props.
I'll give it a chance.
Yep, of
All
course.
Right. So, Nightmare on Elm Street. Hey, 1984 list real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 1984 list. We did it pretty recently with Beverly Hills Cop, but I have my list here.
Okay. I have some honorable mentions, not too many. Secret Honor.
Robert Altman.
That's right. Gremlins.
Richard Donner.
Well done. I like it. Do that.
Okay.
Right. The Terminator.
James Cameron.
Splash.
Ron Howard.
Bingo. The Cotton Club.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Big directors here.
Yeah.
I didn't even occur to me. Yeah. All right. Number 10. Indiana Jones and the Temple.
Steven Spielberg.
Oh, you can. I didn't know if you're gonna. You can.
All right.
I'd be impressed.
All right. My number 10 is Body Double.
Right, which I had said I wanted to see, and then Netflix said it was either out of print or long wait.
Animal Control wants to know if you've seen Blowout yet.
No, that was another one that I might have said this on one of the episodes, or I might not have. I might have just told you that there were those two De Palma movies were on Netflix. Either the same thing. Either one of them was out of print and one of them was very long wait. Now that you said Blow Up, I think that Blow Up was available but very long wait. Blowout. Sorry, I always do that, Antonio. That was very long wait, and I'm pretty sure Body Double's out of print. So I gotta get on that.
All right. Animal Control thinks it deserves a theme, Blowout. A Fitzcarraldo style theme.
Oh, all right. All right, a lot of homework for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. That's fair. Totally fair, and a joy for me. So it's fine.
A joy. Okay, what's your number 9?
What about your honorable mentions and your number 10?
I said Body Double, and I don't have any honorable mentions because I have not written them down. I'm working off of my Beverly Hills Cop list.
Nice.
Yeah.
Number 9, Broadway Danny Rose.
Woody Allen.
There you go.
My number 9 is A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow. Mm-hmm. All right. Number 8, Moscow on the Hudson.
I don't know who directed that.
I think you'll kick yourself.
Wait, John Landis? Ivan Reitman?
No.
Who?
Paul Mazursky.
I should have known that.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think you've even seen that movie.
I've never seen it. My number 8 is Broadway Danny Rose.
All right. My number 7 is Paris, Texas.
Wim Wenders. My number 7 is Spinal Tap.
My number 6 is The Killing Fields.
Roland Joffe.
You know what? I couldn't have told you that. I didn't remember that.
Am I right?
I don't know. I think you are.
Okay.
I think you are. Yeah.
All right. My number 6 is Blood Simple.
All right.
Heavy hitters. These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle.
Ooh.
These are the heavy hitters of the franchise.
You should make a spooky version of the Heavy Hitters theme for October.
Oh, okay. Yeah. From now on.
Here. I'll do an alternate version. Ready?
Go for it. Ooh, pretty good. Now, can you do that again over my voice?
Probably.
Okay, go.
No, I don't want to do it right now. What's your number 5?
Would have been good. Too bad. This is Spinal Tap.
Rob Reiner. My number 5 is Ghostbusters.
Oof. All right. My number 4 is The Natural.
I don't know who directed that.
Barry Levinson.
Oh, Barry Levinson. That was back when he made good movies. Well,
That's right.
My number 4 is Stranger Than Paradise.
Of course. My number 3 is Beverly Hills Cop.
Martin Brest. My number 3 is Amadeus. Just a little better than Ghostbusters.
Fucking maniac. And you know what? Beverly Hills Cop ain't even on your list, is it?
Nope.
I thought it might make it after our coverage.
Well, no.
You'll redo your list and it'll be there.
No, I like all 10 of these more than Beverly Hills Cop.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 for me is Blood Simple.
Cohen's. Number 2 for me is Paris, Texas.
Number 1 movie of 1984 is obviously Ghostbusters.
Ivan Reitman. My number 1 is Once Upon a Time in America.
Right, of course. Yeah.
One of my all-time faves.
That's cool when we hit that. I don't think we've ever. Maybe we have ever
we cover
done
Once Upon a Time in the West and Once Upon a Time in America. Does that count?
Sure.
Okay, just to give me an excuse to rewatch.
Absolutely,
them?
yeah.
Okay,
and give me an excuse to rewatch it, the full version. No, I was going to ask. I don't think we've ever covered a year where one of my favorite movies of all time was on anything.
What are you talking about? Like, what are your number
like
favorite
of all
movies?
Time? You know what I
So,
mean?
what are your favorite movies of all time?
Oh boy, I don't know. Like,
maybe this is why we haven't come across them, because you've never made that list.
well, I mean, off the top of my head, I would have 2001: A Space Odyssey.
All right, we haven't covered 1968. Is that what that year?
You're right.
I am IMDbing all over your shit today.
Yeah, well, I know it's 68. You know what's funny about that? When we did Bond, we did 67 and 69.
That's right. They skipped 68.
So I didn't do it then.
Mm-hmm.
If we've ever done 1979, like I feel we would have, Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, maybe we haven't covered 79.
And then a bunch of other Kubrick movies.
Yeah, of course. That's your list. It's just
No,
Kubrick's
it's not.
filmography.
No, it's not. No. But yeah, no, I should do a. We've never done that. Didn't somebody tweet us about doing an all-time list, right?
Someone tweeted us. I gave them my top 5, but I don't have a top 10.
Yeah, that's tough. Oh, fuck, yeah. But
Y'all.
fun.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Yep.
right.
Let's
yep.
Okay, I made my Wes Craven list.
You'll go through it, and I'll, comment if I've seen it and what I thought. I haven't seen many.
Gang, turns out I've seen 17 Wes Craven
Holy
films.
fuck.
Yep.
Jesus.
So let's talk about him. He's a great, dearly departed filmmaker. I do not think he belongs in that upper echelon there with JC, John Carpenter, and who are the other big horror guys?
William Friedkin.
No, yeah, he's not a William Friedkin. Wes Craven, but he was a creative, interesting guy. He's made a lot of good movies.
Yeah. I mean, the ones I've seen, well, we'll go through it.
A few classics, honestly.
Okay.
Like, we have to get to, like, maybe 8 or something like that before we get to movies I'd give under a 4. Yeah.
Okay. All
right, here they are. My 17 Wes Craven movies. Ranked! Number 17, the worst Wes Craven movie. He decided to venture outside of the horror genre and made a piece of garbage drama
Music
film.
from the Heart?
Music of the Heart.
All right.
Over there with Meryl Streep, featuring a ballad from, I want to say the Backstreet Boys, could be NSYNC.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Yeah.
Number 16, Vampire in Brooklyn, Eddie Murphy.
I never saw it.
All right, number 15, he managed to close out his career with Scream 4, but right before that, it looked like the end might be My Soul to Take.
Okay.
It's bad.
All right.
Number 14, a movie that was a mess. I think they had to reshoot it twice in the mid-2000s. Kevin Williamson script. Wes Craven trying to put his stamp on the werewolf genre. It has its moments. Jesse Eisenberg and Christina Ricci help. Cursed.
I did see that. Yeah, it does have its moments.
Yeah. Number 13, Henry, the worst of the Scream films, Scream 3.
Okay, that is pretty bad.
Yeah. Number 12, this doesn't totally count, but I'm going to include it because he filmed one of the many short segments in it. Paris Je t'aime.
Oh, okay. I saw that a long time ago. I don't remember thinking much of any of it, but okay.
All right. Number 11, here it is, New Nightmare.
Oh, okay. All
All right.
right. All right.
And
I
now
thought
here-
that was the one everybody loved.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Not you. All
I
right.
like it.
Yeah.
I have my problems with it.
Right.
Here's the top 10 Wes Craven movies. This is an unimpeachable list, gang. Don't even try to argue with me. Number 10, Swamp Thing.
Never saw
It's
it.
fucking great. Adrienne Barbeau, height of her powers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number
I know her from the film version of Creepshow.
Sure, and
Which is one of my
what about
favorites.
The Fog?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
That's Carpenter.
that's Carpenter. Sure,
Not one of his better movies.
it's a good
but-
one, but not
it's
one
all
of his.
right.
I think Swamp Thing's maybe better than The Fog.
Okay.
Number 9, Scream 2.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 8, The People Under the Stairs.
Saw it in theaters.
Did you? That's
Yeah.
a crazy movie to have seen in theaters.
I was like 13. I think I saw it with my dad, and I don't know why. I wasn't as early developed as you in terms of being discriminating on my film choices, but I remember it being garbage. Am I right?
Nope, great.
Okay. Okay.
Number 7, The Serpent and the Rainbow.
Never saw it.
Yeah.
Very famous movie, but
Yeah. Number 6, here it is. A little bit of a departure for Wes Craven, and this departure, I think, works like gangbusters. A little bottle movie called Red Eye.
I liked Red Eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that movie. I recall us talking about. I didn't remember that you liked it.
Love
Okay.
it. Under 90 minutes.
Yeah, very
Cillian Murphy?
Yeah, Killian.
I wanted to say Glover. Yeah, he's a great villain, and Rachel McAdams, height of her powers, I'd say.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Good film.
Top 5.
Okay.
Number 5, Scream 4.
All right.
All right? Love it. You know I love it.
Yeah, I don't even remember my Scream rankings other than that 3 was terrible.
Yeah, I do remember that was
You know what
the
I mean?
case.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead.
My number 4, and here these are the greats. All right? Number 4, The Last House on the Left.
All right. I hate that movie.
What?
I think it's ugly and
Yep.
awful
Yep.
and just
And awesome.
awful. I think it's awful.
It's fucking
close
awesome.
to being unwatchable.
Oh, I think it's so good. The villains are so fucking creepy. There's something you feel wrong watching that movie, and it really
Yeah.
works. I love
Not
it.
for me.
And I think the lead performance is surprisingly great. And I fucking love that movie. I rewatched it a couple months ago. Still love it.
Yeah, I had never seen it, and then I watched it for the first time about 3 or 4 years ago, and I made it through, but I just thought it was just an ugly, ugly film.
You're
And
right. It's and
I didn't
that's to your
understand the
taste or
po-
not.
Right. Yeah, I did. For me, that's not.
It's a revenge movie.
Yeah, but it doesn't have any of the artistry of like Straw Dogs or something like of the same ilk. It was just an
I disagree.
yeah,
Straw
okay.
Dogs is a better movie, but
Okay.
I love that movie. Okay,
All right.
number 3, The Hills Have Eyes.
It's been a really long time since I saw the original, so
You know, I've never seen the sequel. We should cover
I did.
that.
I did.
Oh, how is it?
No, not the sequel. I saw the remake.
Oh, I didn't give a shit about that shit.
Right.
But
You should.
I didn't give a shit about that shit, motherfucker.
But-
I sound like a fucking Rob Zombie character.
Yeah.
man. Yeah. No. Speaking of bad remakes, my number 2, Henry.
Mm.
A Nightmare on Elm Street.
The first one.
Yep.
Okay.
And
I'm only noticing that you've put 2 Nightmare movies on here.
because he only directed 2 Nightmare movies.
Oh, right.
Mhm.
Okay. I got to keep remembering
These
that.
are his films as a director. I am not
course.
including writing or producing.
No, of course. I
Listen,
just keep forgetting that.
you're not going to find Wishmaster on this list, okay?
right.
You're not
Right,
going to find Dracula 2000.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so that's number 2. What's
Even though
the
I've
best?
seen both those movies. All right.
Of course. What's the best?
Scream,
Wes
the first Scream. That's his masterpiece.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. All right.
That's it. The Wes Craven rankings. Never seen Shocker. Always wanted to. Never seen Hills Have Eyes 2. Let me know if I'm missing out on any other gems.
Hey, wait, is Shocker the one with Michael Murphy?
I have no idea. The cover's a guy in an electric chair.
Yeah, I might have seen that. Okay. Interesting.
Shocker. That's like that's the thing where you put your fingers inside the vagina and the asshole at the same time. They call that the shocker.
Okay.
Or as Brett Kavanaugh calls it, a drinking game. Okay. A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I just
Sorry.
choked on my coffee.
Yeah.
God damn it. Yeah. Our new Supreme Court justice. All right.
That's right. As of today. Okay. Nightmare on Elm Street. Let's talk about it. We could talk about A Nightmare on Pennsylvania Avenue another time. Am I right?
Bonus ep.
Oh, okay. What do you got? It starts out with a girl. She's a blonde girl.
Who I thought was going to be the main.
That's right. They
person.
pull a little trickaroo in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah. The blonde girl's Tina, right? Is that her name?
Right. I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she's rolling around and in a boiler room, and she's being chased after by Freddy Krueger.
Right.
The first thing you see actually is Freddy Krueger like forging that glove.
Right. Which I thought was interesting. I had no idea going into this about any of it, so I didn't know they would actually show something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the opening credit
few,
sequence.
One of the few things that's actually developed and explained in the movie.
I am not liking what I'm sensing from you. All right. So Fred Krueger, he makes this glove. He chases this girl around. I get the sense they thought the glove was going to be like a hit.
Yeah,
it's really
I think you're
prominently featured in the first one.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Like every chance he gets, he's scraping these nails against stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough to listen to.
It's interesting though the sound effect they chose for it because it's not as bad as I thought they would do it. And that
well,
might
they
be like
don't.
an
They're
ADR
not
thing.
trying to make you. They're not trying to really fuck with your ears. Like
Right.
Like
I thought that myself.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not even as bad as like Quint rubbing his nails on the chalkboard in Jaws.
That is intolerable.
Yeah.
But it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Because if it's going to be a recurring sound in your movie constantly, you can't make it too.
It is, and it
intolerable.
is constant in this
Yeah,
first one.
right.
So he's chasing around this girl Tina. Then boom, Henry, she wakes up. It's a dream. All right, and she's freaked out by the dream. Then she goes to meet up with her pals. There's a boyfriend who seems like a sexual predator. There's Heather Langenkamp, her best friend Nancy, and there's little Johnny Depp.
Yeah, man. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and the boyfriend, that was weird because like his first appearance certainly does not look like he's any sort of romantic interest. He just looks like a guy who's harassing this girl.
Yes, absolutely. And then it
like,
turns out that they're in a monogamous relationship.
yeah, it's like what?
Yeah.
But even so, like the girl is Heather Langenkamp is like doesn't want to leave her alone with them, so like makes Johnny dead. It's kind of odd, but yeah. All right.
Yeah, for sure. Langenkamp is your lead character here. She's one of very few nightmare characters that return in successive films.
And I'll say right off the bat, I liked her.
She's great.
Yeah, I really did. I thought she was good because I don't know the specific barometer of like Scream Queens, but I assume Jamie Lee Curtis is probably at the top.
Curtis is top, and Langenkamp's no Curtis, but
she's good.
I think Langenkamp's better than a lot of the Friday the 13th
I agree.
ones. And
Totally agreed.
Yeah. We get a different kind of Scream Queen in Nightmare on Elm Street too, I would say. We'll get there. Okay. So,
Oh boy.
yeah. So what's going on? They're in school, and it turns out they've all had the same dream,
Right.
but they're not going to admit to it yet. And then they all live on Elm Street, I guess. Where is this taking place?
I have no idea.
I think it's Anytown, USA.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there were only certain times indications that I thought maybe it was like a California suburb, but I don't even know what gave me that impression.
Well, it was clearly shot there. That's what gave you that impression.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
My mind just subconsciously went, "Oh, it's probably outside of LA."
Yeah.
I have no idea. It doesn't give you any indication. It honestly doesn't really matter. I mean, maybe it would have helped a little to know. Like, for some reason, it's in a Halloween. It adds a lot of atmosphere to know. It's like in Illinois, it gives you like a place, and in Friday the 13th, it gives you
Camp Crystal Lake,
right? Someplace in Jersey, but like.
But I mean, Elm Street is important to this franchise because we already see in the second one, like they pull that old trick. If you're not going to bring back any characters for a sequel, it's going to take place the same place. Like
right.
the main character in the second one is now living in Nancy's house.
Right.
Yeah. So fucking bro, they have a party. They have a sweet party. All right. And it's time. It's a little bit like the Halloween party where it's like it's gonna be like this is a party, but only four of us are involved.
Right.
Two boys and two girls, and it's mostly just gonna be us fucking in separate rooms. But since Nancy's your final girl, she's not allowed to fuck.
Right. Oh. Right.
Yeah.
Looking back with the retrospective goggles. Right.
That's right. So she doesn't give Johnny Depp any. Just some chaste necking.
Yeah, he's a little disappointed.
He's bummed, yeah.
A little down.
He's lying in bed like, what the fuck do I have to do here?
Yeah, he's like, he gets the couch.
Yeah.
And the other girl, a little confusing as to who was where.
What are you talking about? Depp is on the couch. Langdon Camp, Nancy, is sleeping in Tina's room.
Right.
And Tina is fucking on her parents' bed.
All right. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
This wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah. I only knew that because Tina's boyfriend says very clearly, let's go up to your parents' bedroom.
Right.
And see, I was paying attention.
Kudos.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So they're going at it in this bedroom. All right?
Yeah.
There's
there's a lot of loud barking. And
oh, my God. Yeah. She is going for it.
That was really funny because that kind of took me by surprise because I didn't know we were going to be in for like a Friday the 13th-esque. Like, because it seemed for a while to have like a Halloween vibe where all that fooling around would be a little more like.
But it's the 80s. It's 1984. There's already been like 3 Friday the 13th movies when this is made.
Right.
And so you need it. You need them nips in this movie, baby.
Yeah, they go for it.
Yeah. So, God. I guess I'm back in covering horror movie mode.
That's perfectly fine. That's where you should be. I'm just riding along. Yep.
Okay. So what happens is Tina's having a bad dream again. Freddy's in there. And he kills her.
Right.
All right? So
right.
she wakes up. She sees, Freddy's like torturing her under this blanket. The boyfriend sees it happening. He gets up like, what the fuck is going on? Who's in our bed?
Right.
And then he rips the covers off. There's nobody there.
Nobody there.
She gets fucking stabbed to shit in the chest and then just dragged across the wall and the ceiling of this bedroom.
Yeah, Linda Blair style.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good scene. Yeah,
that's a great death.
Yeah, it's cool because at that point you don't quite know what the hell is going on, like what's reality. And I liked it because he can see that it's happening. Like I thought maybe like he wouldn't be able to see that happening to her, but he does, and that changes the dynamic a little bit. Because
right, and
the whole
there's no evidence, so he gets arrested. Well, he doesn't at first, though. He runs away because he's the only suspect because it's a locked room mystery. She was murdered in a locked room, and he was the only guy there.
Yeah.
So the police are after this kid, And he doesn't
Rod.
even know who killed her. Is that his
Right.
name, Rod?
I believe
That's
so.
probably a pseudonym for his dick.
I would think so.
Yeah, because he thinks with his dick. So he finds the next day Nancy. So she's dead. His girlfriend's been murdered.
Yeah. So Tina's out to pick real quick.
Tina's done.
Yeah.
And Rod is running around town with no shoes or
Barefoot.
socks on, and I think shirtless.
Now he has that leather jacket.
That's right. Yeah, he's got a jacket. And he finds Nancy, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. Nancy runs a little interference with the cops for him, but they get him anyway.
Right. John
Yeah.
Saxon
John Saxon as Nancy's police chief father.
from Beverly Hills Cop 3.
That's right. John Saxon, good little actor.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
when he pops up. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a little Halloween-y for me, the police chief dad. I know, Lori's dad was not chief of police, but her best friend was.
Exactly.
Her best friend named Nancy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wait, I guess, but I wanted your opinion. But I mean, now's as good a time as any. What is your opinion of Freddy Krueger as a villain, or is it too early for that?
It's, he goes through so many developments as a villain that it's hard to even say. Freddy Krueger of the first movie, where he's not even scared, he's Fred Krueger.
Right. Right.
Is a very, very different villain from even the person we see in part 2, and very, very different from the guy who's rapping with the Fat Boys in part 4. We'll get
Jesus,
there.
thanks
Yeah.
for the warning. Okay. All right.
That said, I think Robert Englund is suitably creepy in the role. I think the character design is dynamite. And if I have one problem with Freddy Krueger, which brings him down in my mind below Jason and Michael, it's that he kills you in your dreams, and so there's no rules.
Yeah. I mean, that's for me so far. And, I'm open. I've only seen 2. That's a big problem for me. I mean, because it's one of those movies where, I mean, obviously anything can happen. Obviously in Friday the 13th and Halloween, you get kind of the boogeyman who never dies. So there's some unbelievability in that. But I just so far don't think he's anywhere close to being as cool a villain as Michael Myers or Jason. And in terms of the character design, I just don't really dig it. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's just like this. It seems like to me, like it's too much. Like there's no real mystery to it. And like, I feel like he's shown his face he looks like the English Patient. And it's just like,
He looks like Mask.
no, he really does look like the English Patient, like a worsely burned version. And I don't, the glove, like, it's like one of those character designs that's set up to be this, like, fuck yeah, we've got this glove with razors and this burnt guy.
And that's why the glove isn't my favorite part of
Yeah,
Freddy.
and it's just not that cool. And kind of like every time he's on screen, you're just kind of like, ugh, I don't want to look at that.
I
like,
do.
I don't. And the other thing that I did think was hilarious, and I think you'll agree with me, despite you may sensing me where I'm going and not liking it, but I don't understand when he does come into like reality, when he's in the real world, or is he? He is one of the clumsiest motherfuckers out there. Like he is like,
he doesn't have full bearing on reality. Like,
oh my god!
To me,
He's
I always
like
feel like
tackling
when
people and like falling around.
I always
and
feel like when
stumbling.
he's in the real world, it's when like his target is like half awake, half asleep.
Okay.
And so he's like not all there or something. I mean, look, did you not like the origin story of Freddy?
Well, there is none.
Yes, there is.
He kills children.
No,
That's great.
we get this whole long origin story that Nancy's mother is tied up in, her alcoholic mother, who I fucking love in this movie.
That was great. That was great. I like that.
Like, gives her this whole spiel by their own boiler in the basement.
Right.
So Fred Krueger was this dude who like killed 20 neighborhood kids.
And do they mean like children or teenagers?
Children.
Because he goes.
I don't know.
Teenagers.
He only goes after teens in the movie, but I always got the sense it was maybe both.
So very uncomfortable.
Well, in the original
again.
script, he was a child molester, and
Jesus
and,
Christ!
and they,
Again with Wes Craven.
yeah,
I
I know,
say.
and they decided we want it to be like a fun slasher movie. Let's not bring to mind child rape.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
but even so, then they should have just. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm asking you genuinely. Like, doesn't that whole premise just sit uneasy with you?
No,
It doesn't.
he's killing kids, and then he gets out on a technicality.
I see. I like that. That was cool.
And
Yeah.
the parents of the neighborhood all like band together in this like creepy ass neighborhood watch and burn him alive.
Right.
And that's fucking fascinating.
Yeah, I didn't have any problem with that. I just didn't understand, like, they don't give you any, and they might, I don't know yet, any motivation, any backstory to this guy. Like, Jason gets, it's inevitable these guys are going to come up, I'm sorry. Gets a backstory of a fucked up mother and being deformed and being picked on. What does Freddy get? Like,
this is like your thing with me and how I like Star Wars but not Game of Thrones, because Star Wars gives you a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and it gives me context. Like, you can't like Freddy because like you need slightly more. Just tell me he grew up sad.
Tell me something. Yeah. I mean, because even if he is just, pure evil, I mean, that's fine, but it's just such a God.
He's got the devil's eyes, Robert Englund's eyes.
Dude, it's just such a disgusting topic, and it's just like,
what? What's so
I feel
disgusting that he murdered kids?
Yeah. And it's like, if they would have just said he
who gives a shit?
Well, it doesn't. It's also incongruous with what he does in the movies. So it's like, I don't understand. Like, he kills kids, but they're all teenagers when he does it, and then his only methodology of killing is that glove through dreams. So there's no.
See, now that evolves.
Okay, but like, so where
honestly,
I'm going is
Nightmare on Elm Street has some of the most creative fucking kills.
Okay, so because that was going to be my next point. Like, am I just in for like 9 movies of just people getting slashed to death?
No. It's not like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You've got like the fucking methodology of kill right there in the title. So like, Leatherface has to kill people with that thing. But in Nightmare on Elm Street, especially by like 4, 5, 6, like the kills are insane.
Okay, yeah. I guess it's just a thing with Wes Craven where I just don't understand he's just a filmmaker I cannot connect with. I don't get what he's doing.
You think he's too dark?
I mean, I don't know. I like
to your very
I like I like a lot of dark filmmakers. We both do. But I mean, The Exorcist is fucking
He's
dark.
the Lars von Trier of the horror world.
Was that my Freddy Krueger laugh? I didn't even intend that.
I know. I've had a couple laughs today that reminded me of Robert Englund.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you see any of my...
I see him. I just disagree.
Do you think they're valid?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, you didn't just outright go, no, that's fucking stupid.
You know what? Because Nightmare on Elm Street is it's a weird franchise, and it's not for everybody, and it's the kind of thing like when people tell me it's their least favorite of the 3, get it. I get it. I so get it. But but I
now what are other people's reasons do you know of that maybe just off the top of your head that you have personally heard or that you've read?
It gets very silly, and so I think people have a problem with that.
But a lot of
but maybe you'll like that because your problem with the first one is how dark it is.
Nah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess
maybe you'll like Freddy rapping with the Fat Boys.
I doubt it. You know what it is? I guess for me, the whole thing hinges on the villain. These types of movies, and so if I'm not into the villain, it's a problem.
Ooh, so you're really picking a side for Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, I've already picked it. Because I remember I've seen the ending of Freddy versus Jason.
The fight?
Yep. And this was pre us covering Friday the 13th. And I was so on Jason's side. But
here's the thing. Freddy Krueger to me Like, Jason is a force of nature. Freddy Krueger strikes me more as the type of villain that's like the master manipulator. So he's like the kingpin in Daredevil, whereas like Jason is Bullseye.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And one can be sort of turned and one can't, even if for a moment.
That's right.
Like Jason and Michael Myers can have like a moment where they like stop.
That's right. There's none of that with Freddy.
Right. So that's a big, and I like that in certain like comic book villains where there's just no, I mean, the interesting ones they always say are the ones that have the, some morality, but of course there's people like the Joker who don't do anything.
Right. It's interesting when villains think that they are the good guy, but then sometimes it's interesting. Like, I think Freddy Krueger knows what he's doing is evil as fuck. He just revels in it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, I wanted to definitely talk about that. I'm sure it'll come up again.
What a thoughtful conversation about Freddy Krueger.
It had to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Had to happen.
So Nancy, she keeps seeing Freddy in her dreams. She falls asleep in the bathtub at one point, and Freddy reaches up through her vagina. I enjoyed that. And so she's having so much trouble sleeping that at one point she proclaims, "God, I my sleep is so bad. I look 20 years old."
Yeah. That made me feel old.
Yeah, it really did. And also, I looked up the Heather Langenkamp, and she was 20 when they made this.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. She doesn't look 20. She looks younger.
No, she totally passes for, high school aged.
It's true. Yeah. And I got to say, I will give them credit where credit is due. And I wrote it down. I think that the movie, one of the best things, I think the makeup on her is actually very good. Like, she does look aged.
Yeah,
like,
she looks tired.
Yeah, it doesn't look hammy or stupid. Like, they don't overdo it. They give her like, the pale look and the ashen look of someone who hasn't slept in a long time. They give her that little streak of white hair,
That's right, yeah.
It was neat,
I love in these movies when they like wake up with new shit. Like, she wakes up with a white streak. At one point, remember in the sleep clinic, she like wakes up and his hat, that weird hat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And her mom's, "Where'd you get this hat?"
I know. Of course, that I did like. Of course, the unbelieving, incredulous parents. Although at least we get the explanation.
But part of that in this movie that's interesting is that it's total denial because they're like, "We killed this motherfucker."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The mom is such a good character. I loved her. Like, at one point, you see her in like the linen closet, and she pulls like a bottle of vodka from under some towels. Yeah. She's so dynamite.
Yeah, she is good.
And then at the end of the movie, when she's like, "I'm quitting drinking," in what may or may not have been a dream.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that may or may not.
That annoyed me. In both of these first two movies, the last scene is like a huh?
Right.
Yeah.
And I also thought it was this movie, right? The first one where the cop, it had to be, right, where John Saxon goes up to investigate Johnny Depp's death. And I did laugh a little because I was fully expecting to see the remnants of what Freddy did to Johnny Depp. And then they make a decision creatively like, we're not going to show that. That's too much.
Well,
like they describe it, and
but describe it, but we see his bedroom, which is just fucking drenched.
I
in
get
blood.
it, but it's like I just thought it was funny. It's like, so we're gonna show all this other shit and talk about all this other horrible shit, but we're gonna pull back for this death.
All right,
this
can we talk about that fucking death though?
Sure,
that one's awesome.
Please, yeah. And by the way, can anyone in these movies at any time stay awake when they're asked to?
It's hard, Henry. It's hard to stay awake.
It can be. It's not an easy thing if you're real tired. But your girlfriend.
And they are real tired though.
Your girlfriend asks you to stay awake.
I know the Deppster's not taking it as seriously as he should. At one point, Langenkamp says she's been up for like 8 days or something.
Yeah, Johnny Depp can't stay past Johnny Carson. It's like
he's watching the TV, listening to his stereo. And
love that touch.
Great. And he falls asleep, and Freddy just myrtleizes him. Just
Myrtleizes
yeah. And he just explodes blood all over the room.
Right,
it's
right,
so
right.
fucking awesome. He gets sucked into his bed.
Right.
Which is an
yeah.
effect I love. I also love it later in the movie when we see it sort of happen to Nancy's mom.
Through the wall?
No, that's a different thing. Yeah,
That's good.
when he goes through her wall, that is awesome.
Yeah, see, I thought that those moments were the best moments in the movie when Freddy's actually not even shown. When because one of the things that surprised me.
Freddy's not shown a lot in the first movie, though.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of the second. But one of the things that I was a little surprised at, I guess not too surprised because of all the horror movies I've seen, is I wasn't for 1 second in these two movies scared. I didn't find any.
I'm never scared at horror movies anymore.
I know. Well, I am. I still get scared. You didn't think there were moments in Hereditary where you're at least on edge?
I was, but I think largely because I was in a theater. I'm not getting scared at home.
Yeah, it can happen. You're right about the theater experience, though. Yeah, but so those moments, I thought, like coming through the wall, coming through the sheets, those were very, very cool. But there's not enough of those. Like they kind of go from these really neat ideas, and then
it wouldn't mean as much if you did it all the time.
If you overdid it, right? But the rest of the movie, to me, just doesn't coalesce in terms of having. I don't know what the effect is going for. I assume at the time in 1984 it's not humor because they're not funny. They don't have like little funny asides like some of the other ones. You know what I mean?
Nightmare on Elm Street's funny.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, unintentionally, there's some parts.
No. Johnny Depp's character is funny and with his half shirt and.
Yeah, exactly. Unintentional.
No, not unintentionally. There's like good lines. There's jokes in this movie.
All right. Continue.
Come on, like you didn't think it was funny, like
remind me. Yeah.
When Nancy has the phone and Freddy goes, "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy," and his tongue comes out through the phone.
I thought it was disgusting.
It was disgusting, but it's funny.
You know what it is too? I guess I'm not like a gore guy, and it's
I'm
not like
either. I didn't think this movie was overly gory.
Well, and there's the main character himself is gory. Like
well,
all the other movies have
tons
of gore, but right, like all the other movies do have tons of gore, but like it's just in flashes, and they are fun. I don't know. I'm gonna definitely. I was prepared for this. I'm gonna definitely take heat for this because I know I'm in a minority opinion. But that's fine, because I know everybody loves these movies. But
not everybody. Again, there's a large segment of the horror community that's not.
Well, I got an email from UK Dave, and he's fucking pumped for this.
Oh my god, awesome!
He loves this shit. Yeah, so which I'll read at the end of the show because it applies to the first and second movies. But whatever. I mean, I feel about it the way I feel about it. But I'm obviously willing. I wanted you to point stuff out to me, and why you liked it and stuff like that.
Am I doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rod gets killed in prison by Freddy in his dreams.
That was cool. The noose.
Yeah.
The sheet.
They fake a suicide, a prison
every
suicide.
scene I like in the movie doesn't have Freddy Krueger in it, and so I made a note of that at the time, and I don't know what that says.
You know what my favorite line in the whole movie is?
What?
When they're trying to get in to see Rod, and
oh wait, I think I know what you're gonna say.
And they don't want to let him in, and Johnny Depp just totally earnestly and sincerely goes, "Look, we have reason to believe there could be something very strange going on here."
It's not the line I thought.
What did you think?
There's a line that the cop who won't let them in says, and I can't remember what it is, but it's equally hilarious. But yeah, that's great. I like Johnny Depp suddenly becomes, yeah. And he's such a weird character, right? Because he's like, he's having these dreams, but he is in probably the most denial of any of them. right?
Yeah,
I mean,
he seems fairly nonplussed the entire movie.
like he doesn't even like, even at the point where she's like, stay up, watch me through the window, wait for my cue. He's had these dreams and he's still just like, okay, yeah, whatever. And
But I mean, if you are gonna be like a rational person, Henry, like think
What's that?
about if this happened to you though. Like, I'd be weirded out because, like, what the fuck are these dreams I'm having by this, like, scarred up hipster?
I'm sorry, you cut out for a minute. Say that sentence again.
I'm saying, like, fucking, if it was you,
Yeah.
like, what, you would be weirded out by like, you'd be weirded out by your dreams. Like, why am I having these dreams about this dude?
Right.
But, like, I don't think I would change my life. I don't think I think it would take me a long time to, like,
Right.
I'd certainly be
you're right.
killed by Freddy before it occurred to me to just stay awake.
I would be intrigued that my girlfriend is having a similar dream to me, but I might say the similar things like, well, honey, maybe you should probably, check into an institute.
I wouldn't. I would be like, what the fuck movie did we watch with this guy where we're both having this dream? Like, we must have seen him somewhere.
I'm agreeing. Yeah. It would take you a long time to come to the conclusion, but
if ever.
If ever, right. I mean, and I guess he doesn't experience the same, like, he doesn't wake up, right, with like bruises or cuts or anything. So he doesn't have the same intense.
Right, yeah.
experience.
Nancy starts to take it seriously when she falls asleep in class and she gets that burn on her arm from the boiler. That's a good scene.
Yeah.
Right, that's a good scene? I know I'm breaking up. I can hear me breaking up to you. This
Yeah,
is so
completely.
annoying. Yeah.
I know. We'll do a recall. But yeah, the boiler room in itself, I thought, is a cool touch.
You like the boiler room?
I mean, just having it as sort of like this weird, fucked up home base of where,
Home
like,
base.
yeah, like for Freddy, where it's not even, it's all, and then people just keep going down there.
Yeah, it's an 80s steam factory. And,
Yeah, right.
yeah, it looks
That
like
was
where
weird.
the end of Terminator 2 happened.
Was that the first? That's the first one where they visit that, or is it the second one? And like the rat actually is in that. They open the door like looking for him.
I don't remember.
I think it's the first one where they go to that abandoned factory and they're looking for him.
Right, they're looking for Fred, where he
But
burned
I don't
alive.
remember if it's Heather Langenkamp or I think it is. I think it's the first movie. But that was interesting. Yeah.
All right, you have anything else to say about Nightmare on Elm Street?
I think for the most part that it's well directed. I'm gonna give it that. Like it was. It's.
Thank
Hey.
you. Oh, that
Hey,
was
man.
Wes Craven from The Grave.
Hey, yeah. I mean, I don't like the guy, so to give him that props, I think.
Hey!
Is that how he sounds?
Yeah.
But ultimately, I just think it's kind of a cruel and pointless, non-scary horror movie. And it didn't. I was not invested. I'll give it the length. I was thrilled at that.
What is it, 95, something like that?
And I knew it would. I mean, I wasn't sure actually, but when I looked at the time up before I watched it, I was like, all right, I remember why we love covering these horror movies.
That's right, man. You can bang these babies out.
Yeah, but ultimately, I have to say, I
Like
was
Freddy
disappointed.
did. He banged those babies out.
Yeah, I have to say I was disappointed because I did think going in, I did honestly think I'd like it. I really did. I thought, all right, this is the first one. It's considered a classic. It is a classic by a lot of standards. So I thought there would be more for me in there.
All right, Henry, not into Nightmare on Elm Street.
Didn't get me. So I'm giving it a 2-star.
A 2.
Yep. Not enough in there to pull it up for a 3. I'm very sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You going 5?
I'm going 5.
Right.
It's a masterpiece. It's one of my favorite horror movies ever made, and I love everything about this first one.
And I do want to know.
I think in many ways, like Halloween, it's just like the first one's the masterpiece. Very unlike Friday the 13th.
Well, that's what I want to know, just real quick, because so what about it to you makes it a masterpiece? Forget the rating.
I just like all the scenes. The deaths, the Tina death, the Johnny Depp death, the weird scene at the end where the mom gets pulled through that little window in the door. There's so much here, and I love Nancy as a character, and it's fun to see Johnny Depp, and Freddy Krueger's a great villain in this first one, and it's legitimately creepy. The score is fucking great. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, that's
what you broke up.
It's very minimalist.
Yeah, it's fucking
like
awesome.
It's not. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's a great score, but it's appropriate for the movie because it doesn't overdo anything.
Who was it? Did you take note?
No.
You slack on that now. It's a fellow named Charles Bernstein. Sounds like a Jew to me.
I have been slacking a little bit on the score sometimes, but I mean, I guess it didn't pop out to me because like I definitely was interested in the score, when Friday the 13th came out. Cause
you broke up again. Hey, he's a horror guy. That's what he does. Looks like he did Cujo.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Looks like he did The Entity. Looks like he did a lot of horror movies. April Fool's Day.
Oh, that's funny. All right. All right. Yeah.
All right. Whatever. So, but I love this score. I think it's great.
All right. Who's your MVP?
My MVP, Henry, is the great Heather Langenkamp.
Yeah, I think she's a clear MVP for me.
Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't give it to, though, since it's such a Wes Craven.
I like to go with an actor.
Even on a movie like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Who's your LVP?
My LVP, God, there's not really much. I'm gonna go with Rod.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just not what? Just
he's underdeveloped. I think he's just he's not up to par with the other three teen actors.
My LVP is actually going to Freddy Krueger.
Boy,
Hey,
oh boy!
I didn't give it to Wes Craven.
Well, you said it's well directed.
Yeah, and I don't know that it probably won't go to Freddy Krueger again. But if looking at this as a singular movie, I just don't.
So you had to be feeling a little down on this franchise after you got through the first one, the one everyone thinks is a masterpiece. You're giving it a 2. And your LVP is the guy who's going to be in 7 more of these.
Yeah, I am, but I've heard ever. And
what have you heard? You broke up.
I have heard. I didn't say yet. Yeah, I've heard that 3 is the best one. So
that's a thing some people will tell you.
So I'm still interested.
Okay.
It's not like one of these things where I hated the villain so much that I was just like not wanting, you know what I mean? Like I want to do it. I want to keep going. I'm just
of course we're not going to stop.
No, but I don't mean that. I mean like even of my own, like I want to see them. I want to be able to be in the conversation, and I want to see where they go, what they do development wise. I want to see how silly they get or how good they get. I have no idea, So I'm in it, but being honest, it's not. I don't think he's a great villain so far.
He's the LVP.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. What's next? Superhero count?
Yes.
Henry, his idol's Gene Hackman. He wants to be in the conversation. Yeah.
All right. This one surprised me. Robert Englund.
That does not surprise me. What, a lot of animated shit?
Yes, 6 things. I'll read them real quick.
Okay.
Justice League cartoon. He played Felix Faust.
All right.
I don't know who that is. Spectacular Spider-Man. He played Vulture.
There you go. Yeah, he'll be a lot of villains.
Like a vulture.
Yeah, he wouldn't be a bad vulture in real life.
I agree.
Yeah.
In the superhero squad, he plays Dormammu.
Yep, that's a Doctor Strange villain.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Green Lantern, he played Mygrum.
Okay.
Sorry, Myglum.
Myglum. Go ahead.
Myglum. In Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he played the
Rat King?
No, some character called Dire Beaver.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, real low on the villain list.
Oh my God, man! A beaver got hit with that mutagen.
Yeah, apparently.
We gotta keep that out of the national forest, gang.
And then he's got a credit, but no matter where I looked, I couldn't find what character he played in Hulk and the Agents of Smash. They don't put him in.
Let's guess. I'm gonna say he was Doc Samson.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Second, I like this pull, but I already had pulled it for Beverly Hills Cop 3. John Saxon was in the Linda Carter Wonder Woman show as Captain Rattle.
Captain Rattle. Is he a snake-themed villain or a baby-themed villain?
I doubt it, because it's RADL, but I like where you're thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, I like where you're thinking. And finally, and I knew I'd seen this guy in a lot of films, but the guy who plays the doctor in the Sleep Institute.
Okay.
Dr. King, played by an actor.
Dr. King?
Yeah.
He was a civil rights leader.
Well, he had dreams, too.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine if Freddy assassinated Dr. King in his dreams?
Oh, boy.
He was just, I had a dream that both races could live in harmony in the boiler room.
And then Donald Trump was the end result.
All right. We don't want to bring it down. Jeez.
Well, you brought it down. You brought Martin Luther King's death into it. Jesus Christ. I wanted to stop you before you went too far. All right. So he was in Dick Tracy.
Who? Martin Luther King?
Yes.
Did he play Mumbles?
He wanted to play against type. He wanted to play a character who could not orate.
Right. Okay.
Charles Fleischer played a character in Dick Tracy. Just a reporter.
Okay.
Yeah. You know where Charles Fleischer came when I was looking at his filmography, where it stuck out. Do you remember him in Zodiac?
No.
He's the guy that Jake Gyllenhaal goes to the house and thinks he's the Zodiac killer, and he's just that weird film collecting bizarro, and they go to his basement and shit.
Yeah.
That's the same guy.
Great scene.
It is a great scene. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for that. That Dr. King thing, I'll go on record. One of my favorite things we've ever done. Was one of the dumbest, but I'm happy. I'm happy with it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Very clumsy and awkward and stupid. And
sure.
I love it.
Henry Kuigil, you want to talk about the sequel?
Let's talk about the sequel.
Let's talk about Freddy's Revenge. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Freddy's Revenge. Okay? Mm-hmm. It comes to us only one year later. Under a year later, Henry.
Yeah.
What is that? You're breaking up because what is it, a little windy out over there?
Thing right now, man. I don't know.
Well, all right. This is annoying. Sorry, gang. Be right back. All right, gang, we're video chatting now. I'm looking at Henry right now. He's wearing a schoolboy cap. He looks like the little boy from Dick Tracy.
This is my Irish cap, I'll have you know. My dad got in Ireland 30 years ago.
Okay. He's smoking a Black and Mild. And he looks great. All right, let's talk about it. Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Dan's wearing a Smith's shirt.
That's 100% true. Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Freddy's Revenge. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're going to talk about the director. What's his name? Jack Shoulder? Yeah.
I can't wait to do this. Yeah.
Okay, Jack Shoulder directed this film. He had previously made a movie that got some good notice called Alone in the Dark. Now, that's a horror movie with Jack Palance.
Oh, yeah. That's a very famous movie.
Yeah, Donald Pleasance is in there, too.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Okay.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
All right, so he follows that up with A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. And, his career sort of slowly went off the rails after that.
Right.
The only other movie I've ever seen that he directed was a 1996 live-action X-Men spin-off that was a pilot that did not make it to air, but I own the bootleg of.
What is it called?
Generation X.
Oh, I see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's right. And he also, Wes Craven gave him a nice gig directing Wishmaster 2, Evil Never Dies.
Who could forget?
Who could forget? I've only seen the first Wishmaster. Gang, should I see more Wishmaster movies? Let's put it out to you.
Yeah, how many are there? A lot?
I think there's a lot of straight-to-video ones, but only the first one came out in theaters.
Okay.
It's about an evil genie. They call it a djinn.
Oh, yes. Is it like Jin?
I believe it's DJINN.
Yeah. That's been used again and again now. The djinn in like the newer horror movies as like an evil spirit. It must mean something. Yes.
Well, I think they got it from Wishmaster, frankly.
You're probably right. There's probably no mythology behind it.
None. All right. It was written. Freddy's Revenge was written by a fellow named David Chaskin. I don't know how he got this job. This is his first filmed screenplay. But he wrote a couple other horror movies in the late 80s. The Curse, which I'm not familiar with. I'm Madman, which I'm not familiar with.
Nope.
Don't really know anything about this guy.
Yeah.
All right.
So they got a whole new set of people on here.
Whole new crew making this Freddy movie. And it's because Wes Craven, they offered him the job. And he was like, what, you want it to come out in less than a year? I can't do that.
Well, kudos to him for that.
Yeah. So he came back for the third one. He writes it, but does not direct it.
Was it, we never mentioned this before, was it his idea at all, making the first one, that it would turn into like a Friday the 13th thing or a Halloween thing?
I don't know, but he certainly made it after those movies came out, and I would argue that Freddy seems to me undeniably set up as like a horror franchise villain.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the feeling I got, but I didn't know if it was like, because I mean, I don't even know if I remember if Carpenter intended that, even though he did do the follow-up.
No, Carpenter, remember, he wanted Halloween to be an anthology.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's how we got Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Classic.
Great film.
Yeah, it is. All right.
Yeah.
So they made it. It came out November 1st, 1985 on a slightly higher budget of $3 million, and it made $30 million.
Jesus.
Came in at number 30, made slightly less than Murphy's Romance, slightly more than Desperately Seeking Susan.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Do you know what Murphy's Romance is? Because I don't.
Yeah, that's Sally Field.
Is that right? Let's look it up if you're right.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Henry,
and
Emma.
Like maybe James Garner.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Okay.
Emma is a divorced woman with a teenage son who moves into a small town and tries to make a go of a horse ranch. Murphy is the widowed town druggist who steers business her way. Things are going along predictably, that's a little mean, until her ex-husband shows up needing a place to stay. The three of them form an intricate circle, with Emma's son liking Murphy, but desperately wanting his father back.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Sounds like a whole heap of trouble.
So
in Murphy.
Garner is the small town pharmacist. A fellow named Brian Kerwin is the ex-husband, and there he is, Corey Haim as her son.
Please tell me more.
Okay, what else we got? I see that Corey Haim is dead. I see. It was directed by Martin Ritt. All right.
Whoa.
Yeah, he directed
That's a
HUD
name.
and Norma Ray and.
Norma Ray, great movie.
Is it?
Yes, I saw that for the first time a couple of years ago. Great
Norma
movie.
Ray is a great movie.
Fuck
I've never
yeah.
seen it.
It's fantastic.
Oh, Henry, is that You Like Me, You Really Like Me?
No, that was Places in the Heart.
Oh, you're right. Sally Field has won multiple Oscars.
I guess.
Sally
Yeah.
Field, my friend, is not a good actress.
Oh, you don't think that? You love that thing she did a couple of years ago, which
What?
I didn't see. Doris,
I did like that. Hello, my name is Doris. You're right.
Yeah.
I just thought she
Doris,
was
I
so
love you.
bad in Lincoln.
Oh, well, okay. That's fair.
Henry, you
Yeah.
have your 1985 list.
I do.
All
I
right.
do.
So do I. I redid this, baby.
So did I.
I'm pretty happy with this list. Let's see what you got.
All right. You want me to name some HMs?
Yeah, I don't have any, but you go ahead.
I have too many, so I'm just going to pick some. I think pick one that I think our viewers will like. Rocky IV.
What an honorable mention that is. He climbs a mountain. Hey, we're getting a direct sequel to Rocky IV next month, Henry.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very
Creed
exciting.
2. Dolph
Love it.
Lundgren's in it.
That's awesome.
I know. I hope Brigitte Nielsen.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Pale Rider. Commando.
Is Pale Rider a Clint Eastwood joint?
Yeah, that's one of his better westerns.
Okay. Yeah, Commando's great.
Lost in America, Year of the Dragon, and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Love it. Okay. What's your number 10?
Brewster's Millions.
Brewster's Millions. That's a Richard Pryor film I've never seen.
I love it. It's also a great baseball movie, and it's a great John Candy performance that nobody ever talks about. It's never put in the...
I feel like you like John Candy a little too much. I feel like he comes up on a lot of your lists.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's an interesting point. I get he's not one of the comedic actors that I guess I normally think about when I name my favorites, but you're right. Like, then all of a sudden he'll just kind of be there. So I should probably start giving him more credit.
Because you're like obsessed with planes, trains, and automobiles.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when we talked about Home Alone, he was like the only part you liked.
I love John Candy. There we go.
Yeah.
There you go, folks. All right. What's your number 10?
Reanimator.
Good one. Good call.
Thanks. I love watching Henry record this podcast now because now I'm seeing him do things like nod instead of saying things into the mic. We're recording. This is an audio podcast.
I do that anyway. Confession.
All right. What's number 9?
Making its list debut. Why not? I love this movie. Spies Like Us.
Is John Candy in that?
No.
All right.
Chevy Chase.
I know.
Yeah,
My number 9 is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Great choice.
Thank
My
you.
number 8 is The Breakfast Club.
What a film it is.
Yeah.
All right. Now, my number 8 is Brazil.
Ooh, that's my number 7.
I love it. Number 7 for me, To Live and Die in L.A.
Aha. My number 6 is Fletch.
What a great film it is. Honorable mention for me. My number 6 is... Let me find it. Henry, I fucked something up. I haven't had because I added something. Okay, let me go back. My number 10 is Lost in America, Henry.
Oh.
Okay.
Whoa,
my number 9 is Reanimator. My number 8 is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. My number 7 is Brazil, and my number 6 is To Live and Die in L.A.
So we have the same number 7.
Yes.
Okay, and you threw Lost in America on there. I almost did.
You know why? Because I had Blood Simple on the list, and I think I fucked up the year because it's also on my 84 list.
Obviously.
Yeah.
All right. So your number 6 is what? I'm sorry.
To Live and Die in L.A.
To Live and Die in L.A. All right.
Oh, I'm watching him now pull up the Heavy Hitters theme.
Heavy hitters. These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the
He's
three
sitting
pointers,
back,
the
satisfied,
touchdowns, the
looking at
curling
me,
when the
taking
puck
drags of
gets
his
close to
black
the
and
circle.
mild.
These are the heavy hitters of the franchise, heavy hitters.
I've
I like
never,
the
I've never
description.
seen him look more pleased with himself than when that was playing. All right, what's your number 5?
To Live and Die in L.A., man.
Great movie. My number 5 is The Breakfast Club.
My number 4 making its list debut. You think you made fun of me recently for this because you couldn't believe I actually watched the whole thing because it's like 10 hours long. But Showa.
Oh yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, I've never seen a second of that monstrosity.
And for those of you doubting its validity on a list, it's a legit documentary. I believe it even won Best Documentary at the Oscars. So
Henry,
there you go.
can we take a break from our list? Because I forgot I have right here Blockbusters, top 10 movies of 1985.
Well, why don't we finish ours?
Okay, and then we can look at Blockbusters.
Yeah, so what's your number 4?
My number 4 is a little masterpiece called Clue the Movie.
Right. I need to rewatch it. My number 3 is a movie you love, The Color Purple.
I do like The Color Purple.
Oh, you do?
I've got nothing. I got no beef with The Color
thought-
Purple. All right.
You did. It got bumped for me, though. It was my number 1 for a very long time.
That's crazy. Maybe that's what you're reacting to. It's just me being weirded out that you'd put it at number 1.
Yeah, it got bumped.
Yeah. All right, that's one of Spielberg's occasional forays into black history. It's very odd when he does that.
The best one.
I like to think Color Purple, Amadeus, and Lincoln form a trilogy.
Amadeus?
I meant Amistad. All right.
Amistad, much better movie.
Yeah, I agree. My number 3 is The Purple Rose of Cairo.
One of Woody's worst.
One of his best, I would say.
One of our first arguments ever, I believe.
That would make sense.
Yeah. The number 2 movie of 1985 for me is After Hours.
A great film, and Henry, this time out, got bumped from my list.
Whoa. That's major.
I know.
Wow. Okay.
My number 2 is Akira Kurosawa's Ran. And that was my number 1. It got bumped to number 2.
Well, then we both have two new. We both have new number ones,
and I think they might be the same one.
They have to be. Want to go at the same time?
One, two,
three.
Back to the future. All right, listen.
Wow.
It would be crazy if we didn't have that on the list. That movie's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a perfect movie, okay?
I was really debating about After Hours and that, and then I remembered there's no way, man. Back to the Future is just fucking incomparable, and I think our coverage of it helped. So let's go for the blockbuster.
They've got a top 11 here in alphabetical order. I'm going to go reverse alphabetical. So number 11, they have here Witness. All right?
Yeah, great. It's a good movie.
Peter Weir's incisive direction enhances this entertaining drama, all right?
Yeah, it was on my top 10. It got bumped.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Number 10 is The Trip to Bountiful.
Yeah, that was very pop famous. I've never seen it.
What the fuck is that?
The title is very bad. I don't know. What is that?
This was Geraldine Page's last starring role. She won Best Actress.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about an old widow living unhappily with her son and his wife, but yearning to return to her hometown, Bountiful, Texas.
You ever feel like in the 80s, the Oscars were sort of grasping at straws sometimes?
I think that it took them a long time to understand. Like, in the 80s, movies were changing. Like, it was a really good period for, like, mainstream family films, but, like, we don't want to give Oscars to those movies. And it was also, like, a really great time for low-budget indie films, but we don't give Oscars to those movies. And it was also a pretty good time for, like, sort of subversive comedy, but we don't give Oscars to those movies. So we gave Oscars to a lot of shit.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 9, they have Ron here.
Okay.
Yep. Besides the intriguing plot, the elaborately choreographed battle scenes add to the thrill of grand-scale drama. All right. Number 8 is Pritzi's Honor, something I'm surprised wasn't on your list.
Not a good movie.
Really? But you love Jack Nicholson and Kathleen Turner.
He's my favorite actor of all time, and I don't think it's a good movie. It's very overrated. Everybody talks about Pritzi's Honor. I don't think it's very good.
Interesting. Yeah. Number 7, Out of Africa.
Another one you probably think I would love, right?
I hate that fucking movie.
That movie's terrible.
It's so bad, dude.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Meryl Streep is once again enthralling. Okay. Number 6, Kiss of the Spider Woman. A movie I totally wanted to see as a kid because I legit thought it was about Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
And it's not.
I've seen it. No bueno.
Really? An electrifying performance by William Hurt is the centerpiece of this film.
I disagree with that assessment.
Okay. Interesting. Number
That's
5.
William Hurt impression.
Oh, very good. William Hurt. Number 5 is
Thank you.
Desperately Seeking Susan.
That's a dumb movie.
No, it's a good movie. It's good.
I love
There's
Rosanna
nothing wrong
Arquette,
with that.
Yeah, it's just,
You got Madonna in a nice early role.
I'll take Mannequin.
All right. Number 4, The Color Purple here. All right. Oprah Winfrey is excellent. Keep the Kleenex handy.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh. Refreshing to hear you cough on the podcast.
Yeah. No, number 3, Cocoon. All right.
Get out of here.
Fantasy maven Ron Howard brings kind aliens to Earth. All right.
Maven?
Yeah, he's a fantasy maven.
Maven.
Hey, they recommend Tawny Welch. Yes, Raquel's daughter is one of the aliens, and it says Don Amish is invigorating in his breakdance scene.
Don Amici, but okay.
Whatever. He's
Amici.
Well, he's invigorating his breakdance scene.
Don Amici. What'd you call him? Don Amish?
Yeah. I wasn't that far off. Leave me alone.
It's such a non-Italian's way of pronouncing it. It's great.
Okay, Henry Papel. Number 2 is Brazil. They like Brazil.
Wow, good.
Yeah. The settings and production design are spectacular. All right. And number 1, Back to the Future over here. They agree with us. All right?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Good.
Yeah. Huey Lewis sings on the soundtrack. It says this movie grows on you. What the fuck? No, it's great right from the fucking first second.
No, it doesn't grow on you. It's amazing from the first shot.
I know. Yeah. Back to the Future. It's a grower. Okay. Let's talk about it. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. We have a new lead actor, and boy, is this guy a lead actor. I love him. Yeah. I love him, gang. Let me go back to the movie. I have Norma Ray pulled up, and then Murphy's Romance. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. All right, so our lead actor is a fella named Mark Patton. Are you familiar with this fella?
Only a little bit after I read. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, go ahead. I wanted to hear your take.
He's a gay fella, and
Right.
he has HIV. I think he's living with it, though. So,
Okay.
Happy for him. And I genuinely think he's great in this movie.
You do?
I do.
He's my LVP.
That's crazy. But it's such a weird character.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's this family. They've recently moved into Nancy's house from the first film.
Right.
It's a dad and a mom and this kid Jesse and their bratty little daughter.
Of course. Yeah.
The dad was played by Clu Gulager.
One of my favorite names.
You familiar with the Guligers?
No.
Henry, I have something to say.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to watch season 3 of Project Greenlight?
That was, I think I skipped out on that one. Yeah, no, wait. I watched the first 2. Yeah.
Season 3 of Project Greenlight, they decided they were going to make a horror movie, Henry. And
I did see this. They
brought on Wes Craven as a producer and consultant to the horror movie.
Yeah.
And they ended up making a film called Feast, which is okay. Right. I've seen it. And they chose as a director this guy, John Gulager. Okay?
Okay.
Now, John Gulager's dad was a sort of lesser-known actor named Clu Gulager. Now, I'm sitting here watching Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, a movie Wes Craven has definitely seen. And there's Clu Gulager. And I've got to say, was John Gulager's inclusion in Project Greenlight Season 3 fixed?
Wow, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here, folks? You heard it here first, folks. Wow. Interesting.
I'm blowing the whistle on Project Greenlight Season 3.
You are, because my only memory of that entire season was the director of it arguing vehemently for a certain point. I don't know what it was. And I remember Matt Damon was in the room with Wes Craven with him. And he was arguing with Wes Craven or something. And Matt Damon stepped in and said, "You're sitting across from the master of horror and you're arguing points with him.
Yeah.
Don't you think you should listen?" He was really upset. I just remember that.
But you know what? I mean, if you're going to be a filmmaker, I feel like you have to listen for sure, but you also have to have a steady vision.
Right.
And what? You could have come back to that. When was Project Greenlight Season 3 made? You could have just been dude, I saw Cursed.
That would take a lot of balls,
maybe the instincts aren't what they used to be.
Oh, yeah. Project Greenlight was like right around the time of like what Music of the Heart or From the Heart.
No, probably
Or-
more like Cursed or Red Eye.
Was it that late? Oh boy, I didn't know it
Season
was that
3,
late.
I think so. Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, at the
okay.
time of Music of the Heart, I don't think reality TV was really a thing yet, except for like the real world.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got my ears mixed
All right,
up.
so Nightmare on Elm Street 2. It's a real story about 4 guys living in Nancy's old house, bro. Let's see what happens. Shit's about to get real. All right. It starts with kind of a crazy fantasy sequence, though, which totally reminded me of Beetlejuice.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah. You know
Oh.
So they're like driving in this school bus,
Right.
and the bus driver is Robert Englund,
Clearly.
not in like Freddy makeup,
Right.
and he drives the school bus like away, like he starts going really fast, and then the ground starts breaking up, and it's being held on these fucking spires. I felt like there was gonna be a sandworm popping out of the ground.
I was waiting for the Beetlejuice thing because I didn't remember a school bus being in that. I thought of Ferris Bueller.
No, but it was
yeah.
this weird
Right.
deserted landscape.
And it even looked like Beetlejuice now that I think about it. That same like shot and cinematography. Yeah.
That's right.
Very odd. Yeah.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you for acknowledging me. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
So it drives off into the desert, and then the kid wakes up. He wakes up in a sweat.
Yes.
It's apparently super
He's screaming, is he not? Like real
high-pitched scream.
really high pitched scream.
So apparently the writer of this movie, David Chaskin, wrote it as an allegory for coming out of the closet.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you didn't watch the movie thinking about that, but that was the
No.
intention of David Chaskin. He never told director Jack Shoulder. So the film wasn't actually made with this in mind, but you can sense some of the development in the script.
All right. Well, the only clue that I had, no pun intended on clue, the only inkling of that I had, I mean, obviously there's some obvious shit, but I'll read UK Dave's email because it's short and it's about this topic. Okay.
All right, listener UK Dave chiming into the main text of the podcast. Let's hear what he has to say.
I cannot wait to hear yours and D-Train's thoughts on the not very subtle homosexual undertones of Nightmare 2, starring the weird lead actor dude and Meryl Streep lookalike. Also interested to hear what you think of the criminal.
You know, it's
underrated-
funny that he says that because I had a moment where I was like, he looks like Mamie Gummer.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all that's relevant for that. But he just wants to know, the not very subtle homosexual undertones, and then he goes on about the other movies. I'll save those for later. But yeah, so I did remember that email. So I was like, okay, yeah, and that stuff was definitely going through my head.
Well, the thrust of this movie is Freddy trying to take over this kid's body.
Yeah,
like-
it's like body possession this time.
Yeah, it's more body horror. So like he's trying to like gain more solid footing on Earth, you know. So he wants to like possess this kid.
Yeah.
And so I think part of that is like the true self coming out and learning who you are. There's also an enormous section of this movie where the actress, you know, he has a girlfriend. He's been at the school for like 2 seconds and he has like a hot girlfriend. And this kid is weird. And
Right.
the hot
And
girlfriend.
like a best buddy kind of too.
Well, I'm going to get to that.
No.
I'm
Yeah,
going
right,
to get
right.
to that. So the hot girlfriend is, of course, the actress who played Pam on that one episode of Seinfeld. Do you know her?
No.
The actress is Kim Myers. That's her name. You don't remember that episode of Seinfeld where Jerry, he was into this girl named Pam, but he wasn't gaga over her. And Kramer had a huge crush on her, and then they compete, and there's this like Cyrano de Bergerac scene where they're in like a library, and Newman is feeding him like poetry to read to her.
Jesus Christ, I don't remember that, and I've seen it. So okay,
well, that's what I recognized her from.
All right, interesting. All right. Yeah.
So he's with this girl, and she is down to pound.
She really is.
She wants a piece of this fucking thing. What's in them pants? Show me that thing.
I kept going back and forth with her in terms of deciding whether or not she was a terrible wooden actress or actually worked in the movie, and I ended up siding on the side of that. I think she's actually good.
I think she's good. She's a little nice. I could have used a tiny bit of edge.
No, yeah. There's no edge, but. Yeah. She is, and she's interesting looking. So I thought that was, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, she looks like Natasha McElhone.
Well, she looks like Meryl Streep.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe if there was a hybrid creature of
Mamie Gummer and Natasha McElhone, love it. Ooh, I'd be all over that. Okay, so I'll say he's with this girl. She wants his dick. But he's in gym class, and the girls are doing archery in gym. I thought that was odd. the girls are doing archery. They're just shooting arrows. And how is there an archery scene in this movie and no one gets killed with an arrow?
I agree. Big miss there.
Huge
big miss.
Miss
the bullseye.
The target. Okay. So he gets hit in the head with a baseball because they're playing baseball, and then he gets pantsed. What a horrible feeling that must be. Because I've been hit in the head with a baseball before, and it's shocking. Like
it is shocking.
You're like, oh, like, you get hit in the head, and then to simultaneously have someone pull your pants down. That's got to be traumatizing.
That was rough, man, because I was at least happy that some people came over to see how he was doing. Nary a bruise, nary a knockout, and then he's no sooner is like barely standing, and then he gets
and he ends up getting detention.
Yeah, what the fuck? Well, that's
with this other guy.
And that's because of this evil.
Yeah, there's a
weirdo,
mean gym teacher played by Robert Russler.
Right.
I'm looking up the actors. And then
No, that's not the right one.
Marshall Bell is the coach. Sorry.
Yeah.
Who's Ron Grady? Oh, he's the police chief or something. So there's he gets put in Robert Russler's this guy. Okay. So he gets put into detention with Robert Russler, who's like the jock. And there's this scene where they're like doing push-ups together, but they're also bonding. And then they end up becoming tight. And so, I mean, when we're talking about gay subtext, I surely have to point out the scene where they're all at a party and she wants to fuck him and he literally runs away so that he can go into that dude's bedroom and talk over the situation with him.
That's what happens. It's true. Yeah, talk it over, and then also, if I'm not mistaken, he does this also under the pretext of yet another scene of you stay awake. I need you to watch what happens.
Right. Well, there's a lot of that in these movies.
Right. But that's the key scene of that in this.
Well, he's trying to stay awake a lot throughout the whole movie, but like he keeps falling asleep. There's that one sequence where he sleepwalks.
Yeah.
And the police like take him home, and he's naked.
Right. Very strange.
Yeah, and he goes back to his bedroom. You catch the Simple Minds poster in his bedroom.
There's a lot more in this movie of like
80s.
And like recognizable stuff.
It's 1985, man. That's probably the year to have a Simple Minds poster.
That's the year of Don't You Forget About Me, or at least the year. It is that year.
Of course it is.
Yep.
Yeah. Henry, you want a visual joke?
Sure.
I was being Judd Nelson at the end of Breakfast Club. Okay.
Nice.
So let's talk more about the homosexual subtext, because no sooner does that happen that the kid, he decides he is going to go to a gay leather bar.
So weird.
What,
right? And
what town is this? Where are we?
I don't know, man. Like, because it seems like it's a real popular place. It's real crowded.
It is
and it's
hopping in there.
It really hopping. It's and he goes there. Doesn't he go there to like find the teacher because somebody tells him that's where the teacher hangs out?
But why is he looking for the coach?
I don't know.
I don't remember. It must be explained. I remember him. He's sitting there at the bar, and I guess he's there to find the coach, but the coach finds him.
Sure
if
does.
I'm this coach and I spot my student at the bar of this gay leather club that I frequent, I'm gonna sidle myself away. All right. But no, he goes right up to him and is like, "Hey, buddy, what's your name again? Will or something?"
Yeah, he's not saying, I'm here with my
Jesse.
brother. I'm here for my brother.
Yeah.
No, he's owning it.
No, and he's wearing a full leather garment. He looks like fucking Mr. Slave from South Park.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
He looks like Rob Halford without
He
the.
does. He flat out looks like Rob Halford. He should have had one of those hats.
He's breaking the law. Yep.
Very good. Okay.
Thanks.
Well, he is kind of, because
He
no
is.
sooner. I mean, not being there, of course. That's just a bunch of gay fellas having a nice time.
That will be outlawed soon, but yes.
But
right.
then he takes this Henry. He takes this 16 or 17-year-old kid back to the school. What's going on there?
Oh my
Then,
God.
It starts like getting undressed and shit. But,
Yeah.
But then, Henry, Freddy Krueger, I think, saves Jesse's little butthole.
I think
and
he does. Yeah.
spanks the coach to death with some sentient towels.
Oh my God.
It's
If I
amazing.
thought, I will say right now, if I thought the first movie made me at all uncomfortable, it's got nothing on this movie. That entire scene was so perplexing.
It is creepy and uncomfortable, and I loved every minute of it. You get to see the coach's little red bottom.
What that actor must have been thinking, I don't know.
He's
I
one
mean,
of
I
the
don't know.
he's one of the army commanders in Starship Troopers. That's what I recognized him from.
I recognized him from a lot of stuff. I think he's in like a lot of movies where he plays some form of a drill sergeant or some shit like that. He's always like the tough bad guy telling everybody to get in line. But holy shit, yeah, that scene was whacked. I mean, that was like in the top contenders for some of the craziest scenes we've seen in these like 3 franchises of the horror movies.
Yeah. So he then goes what happens? He starts to like learn information about the house, right?
Right.
Like he hears about Nancy, and they say like she was like run out of town or something.
Right.
They say that the mom committed suicide in there.
Right.
Which leads me to believe that like the end of the first one was somewhat real, and that maybe Freddy killed her in the living room. I don't know.
I don't know either. I assumed so.
It's
There's
also
really
Henry established that this took place 5 years ago. So we're running
Yeah,
we're
what
running
was that
into
about?
another weird fucking horror movie timeline situation.
You're right.
So Nightmare on Elm Street was 1984. They say that in the movie. So Freddy's Revenge came out in 1985. Are we to believe that this is actually 1989? In which case, having a Simple Minds poster on your bedroom wall isn't so normal.
Well, see, I didn't catch the 1984 reference. So for me, when I was thinking 1980 is when those events took place, 5 years prior.
Oh,
to
so you're
1985.
setting Nightmare back.
Right.
So it
I'm
took
saying-
place. So that was a period piece. It took place in 1980, despite 1984. I mean, that's possible. Maybe I'm misremembering something.
I don't remember that being stated. I mean, I thought they just said 5 years ago, and I don't remember in the first one them saying 1984. But whatever, you're right. It's another one of those contusions bludgeoned upon us. Where
Depp's
we have to
hair does look like it could have been a 1980 situation.
Yeah, it works either way.
Yeah, he's feathered up.
Yeah, for sure. He didn't get those scissor hands yet.
It's pre-scissor hands. It's pre-everything. It's pre. Is it? I think it's maybe the first season of Jump Street at the same time.
It's his first movie, and it's the first first movie involving a hand with scissors that involves Johnny Depp, right?
Ooh, Henry, it's true. The scissor glove is very similar to the scissor hand.
Didn't mean to spoil that movie or anything, but the idea might have come a little bit. I don't know.
You think Tim Burton's ripping off Wes Craven?
I don't know, but that would be hilarious. I have no idea, but it just occurred to me right now. I had never thought of it.
No,
Yeah.
I'm a beautiful, unique snowflake of creativity.
Is that Tim Burton?
No one can accuse me of being influenced by anything. Everything in my films came straight out of my beautiful, unique brain.
He does have amazing hair. I'll give him that, Tim Burton.
Frankenweenie. Okay. So what happens? He becomes friends with Grady, the jock. Did you catch the great band poster in his bedroom?
There were several. Is that the police?
I didn't catch police. Was there a police?
The police
one?
are in. Oh yeah,
I saw
absolutely.
a Stray Cats poster.
Oh yeah. That's the predominant one for sure. But there's a police poster popping up too.
Oh yeah, he was into Zendata de Mayo or whatever the fuck. Oh, Sting.
We haven't even mentioned in this movie yet, like Freddy Krueger. We mentioned him like twice.
Well, he's not in it. That look, listen, he is. I mean, look, he's trying to take over this kid's body. So, like every time we see Freddy, he doesn't kill that as many people. I don't think in this movie.
Right.
He just he's constantly in this dream world, like trying to like form a bond with Jesse.
Right. And we do see Freddy again wrestling on the floor with people. Again, still not quite comfortable in his environment. When he chases Lisa around the house, there's a lot of throwing shit at his head, and he's like, "Oh!" Stuff like that.
There's a little bit of that, yeah, which is a Wes Craven special. Wes Craven loves just females throwing household items at pursuers.
I like that. I liked it in Scream.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
It's great. So is that what he's doing in Scream? Is he showing back... like throwing shit at the villain's head? No,
I think that's a go-to with Wes Craven is like, if like it says in the script, like she runs away from the killer, Wes Craven's idea is always like, have her throw a plant at him. Have her throw a vase at the guy.
Oh man, this movie's garbage. Anyway,
I loved this movie.
No, you didn't.
I love Freddy too.
Really?
I really like this movie. I think if you're going to do a sequel to Nightmare on Elm Street, this is the way to do it. And I honestly think this is an important movie to the franchise because Halloween 2 is a continuation of Halloween, okay?
Right.
And then there's no other Halloween movie that proves to me that this is a worthwhile franchise that can keep going. I think Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, is a movie that is like, hey, check it out. This is what Nightmare on Elm Street sequels could be like.
Really?
Yeah,
Boy,
and I think it has enough connection to the first one with the house and with Freddy. And there's a couple good kills, a couple creepy moments. I really like the weird coach death. I like the part where she goes in to kiss her boyfriend, and then it turns out it's Freddy. Freddy gets a nice little kiss.
And then what she's like, essentially they're saying to ward him off, they're saying like, I don't believe in you, you're not real. And it seems like anytime she says that or something to that effect, he loses a little bit of juice, like he loses a little bit of power or something. I don't know.
I do think it's one of these situations where his power comes from people's belief in him, and so that's kind of the plot of Freddy versus Jason, is like people have forgotten about Freddy, and he's like
Not happy.
He's using Jason to like remind them he exists or something.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you like this. I didn't think you would.
I think this is a totally decent sequel.
Wow. I thought it was terrible in every conceivable way.
How?
I just thought in every way. I thought it was just completely idiotic.
It's ambitious. It's funny. I like the lead performance.
It is funny. I mean, it is funny. I did not like the lead performance. I didn't think it had any, even of Wes Craven's sureness as a director. I didn't think it had any sort of flow
I
to
actually think it's a way more confident movie than most horror sequels. I mean, right from the start, because that weird Beetlejuice dream sequence kind of looks great.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But I mean, I just don't. I mean,
I'm amazed that it took less than a year to make this movie. This feels like a movie. This does not feel like an early draft to me. Like, this is a fully formed Nightmare on Elm Street sequel.
Maybe so, but it just didn't have anything in there that grabbed me at all, and none of the cool ideas that I expounded upon a little bit about the first one. I mean, I thought the pool sequence could have been like a real barn burner, you know, but it
what
was
happens
just kind
there
of.
is I remember a bloody pool.
Well, it's like the pool starts. It looks like the pool starts boiling, and then like a fire started, but then Freddy just shows up at the pool, and everyone's just kind of staring at him, and he starts just like slashing flower pots and shit.
Oh yeah, he loves to demonstrate those gloves. He worked hard on them.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like too goofy for me. I don't know. It didn't have even the Friday the 13th part deux.
I think Friday the 13th Part 2 is a better movie than Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
Well, so do I.
I'll say that.
I mean, by a lot to me. By a lot.
This is the worst of the Part 2s, but at the same time...
Oh, you do think that?
I do. But I also think maybe Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is better than Friday the 13th 1.
Oh, yeah. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. And I'd have to re-listen to our coverage of that, but I remember being way more interested in what the hell they were doing there. It might... I mean, in your opinion, this movie's sure-footed, and that...
I really do feel that way. I feel like this is a solid movie. Like, to me, I'm not surprised you don't like this movie. I knew my grade would be higher than yours, but, like, I'm giving it a 3.
Okay,
and
wow.
For me, it's a solid 3.
I'm giving it a 1. Yeah. I'd have to, because the first movie for me was
you
like...
You gave it a 2. Yeah. I mean, there's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go, and giving it a 2 is not fair to the first one, because I mean, I don't think the first one's a piece of garbage. But this one to me is just not. I mean, I just thought it was ridiculous. I couldn't. It didn't have the cool moments that I thought the first one had.
This movie is fun. I enjoy it. It's a 3. My MVP is. We didn't talk a lot about the kills, but I guess if there, I don't remember. If there's a kill you want us to talk about, let us know. But my MVP is Jesse. I love that kid.
He's my LVP. My MVP is Lisa. I thought she held the screen pretty well.
She held the screen pretty well.
It's about all I could do. It was tough for me to pick an MVP. I got to be honest with you. So,
my LVP, I think I'm gonna go with the mom, and part of that is the dad's kind of great. Like Clu Gulager is giving like a real weird performance. He's got like a Band-Aid on his face for like half the movie.
Very strange.
He looks like fucking Nelly. And,
and he well, it was getting hot in there, and he also is like great when he's like saying, "Oh, it wasn't important what happened in this house before."
Right. We're making a new start. But maybe the mom felt underwhelming to me, A, because of Clu Gulager, and B, because of how much I fucking love the mom in the first. Like, I almost gave the mom my MVP in the first.
Right. No, there's no comparison between the moms at all. I agree. Was the daughter the same girl who was in Troll 2?
It was like that, right? Like a bratty little long brown-haired girl. Like
We got poltergeist syndrome.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, man, maybe Freddy would have had more luck taking over her body. Wait,
Probably
so
less of
what happens at the end is like he manages to like expel Freddy from his body, but then it's like the same ending, which sucks. The ending does suck.
All right.
With the bus going off, and the bus like turns into Freddy's sweater, like it's patterned like Freddy's sweater. God, that's fucking stupid.
Wait, are you conflating that? Because I thought the convertible.
Oh, is that that's the convertible in the first one? You might be right. Yeah.
Okay. But either way,
that is dumb.
Lord. Another Beetlejuice touch with the stripes going on there.
It's true.
Oh.
Excuse me, I came up with that all on my own.
Oh boy, we got to find some archival footage maybe of Tim Burton speaking to Wes Craven about this.
We can cover Pee-wee.
Oh, we're Batman.
Good point. Yeah.
There's no
He's
problem.
He's been involved in some franchises: Planet of the Apes, Alice in Wonderland.
Oh boy.
Any others?
4 is enough for Tim Burton. I don't know. Yeah.
There's got to be more. They never made that Beetlejuice sequel. They wanted to for a while there.
I'm glad that they didn't do that.
Yeah, me too. Fuck.
Good idea.
Okay. What do you got, Henry?
I have a superhero count of. Sorry, hold on.
I'd love to hear
2.
the superhero count. Let's hear it.
Would you like to hear the theme or just no?
I want to hear the theme, yes.
Okay. I'm clearing my throat because I'm going to sing it this time.
I'm
here
just
we go.
watching Henry dick around with his phone right now. And I got to tell you, as boring as it is for you, just as boring for me.
All right. Marshall Bell.
Who's that?
Oh, that's Coach Snyder, my friend.
Oh, the guy from Starship Troopers? What's he been in?
Dick Tracy.
Who do you play? Mumbles?
He played a character that I don't remember. I don't even know he had a name. Lips Cop.
That's got to be one of Big Boy Caprice's guys, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, he probably had big lips. Remember Flathead? That was one of them.
Flat Top.
Oh, yeah.
I also like your second mispronunciation of an Italian name. Big Boy Caprice. Yeah. Caprice.
Oh, Big Boy Caprice. All right. Well.
And then there was somebody in this movie playing a character named Kerry. Kerry. Do you know this character, Kerry?
Where does I don't know. Not off the top of my head.
Yeah, I didn't either, and I dug deep for this because that's how I roll. And I don't know who the fuck she played, but it's played by an actress named Sydney Walsh who appeared in Lois and Clark. And I couldn't find who she played in Lois and Clark until I dug deeper, and she played the immortal Superman character, Carol Stanford.
Hey, she got a last name. You got to give her that. Stephen Tobolowsky says he only takes roles with last names because it looks better on his resume.
Is that right?
That's right.
That's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Covered him when we did Basic Instinct.
Oh, that's right. We sure did. He was also on Seinfeld.
He's a great character.
Yeah, love him. Yeah. Groundhog Day. All right. What do you got, Hank? Is it time to wrap up?